Among the million of different things I'm currently doing, technically all at once, and I've mentioned this before in a video, I'm essentially just like doing my best to binge watch as much of Steven Universe as I possibly can, given the fact that there are other things that are essentially keeping me from being able to do that as often as I want to right now. About 3 months ago, I ended up doing an entire media messages outline because of an episode specifically that I watched at the time, and it had me thinking about a lot. So I ended up writing down what I was thinking, and then I ended up watching another episode that brought me back to that same concept I was writing about. But because of the fact that there was more info, the thought itself turned into a fully fledged media messages outline that I had to do. Long story short, love is a conversation, Garnet as a fusion. Let's go. Now, as per the usual when it comes to shows specifically that I know not everyone has watched, spoiler warning. At the very least, for me specifically, I've gone to like episode 5 of season 3. So this is up to like, I don't know, season 2, spoiler warning. In season 2, episode 3, Love Letters, there is an entire in the episode itself was an entire plot specifically around mailman Jamie having a quote-unquote crush on Garnet, and he essentially classifies it as love at first sight. And from the beginning of Garnet at least being told, she was immediately like, nah, not interested. By the end of the episode, Garnet is essentially correcting the way that mailman Jamie looked at love in a romantic sense when it comes to other people. Stating that what he felt for her was merely infatuation. He didn't even know who or what she actually was, which had me looking into the definition of infatuation, and also brought the question, so infatuation plus getting to know a person equals love? Not quite. Infatuation itself is the initial interest in a thing, idea, person, etc. Essentially, it's that first spark that you end up getting. The initial drive. The main part of the definition is short-lived. So the infatuation itself has the ability of not lasting long. Now, the getting to know you part, adding that on to the infatuation, it does not always equal love. In fact, it equals just getting to know the person, and whether the information you get out of it feeds into the infatuation, or whether it changes the way that you look at the person in general. What I wrote down specifically was getting to know each other should feed into the initial interest, admiration, for love to even be considered. Best example, Romeo and Juliet, and how that was never going to be able to be sustained, because the entire play itself supposedly happens over 5 days. And the general infatuation stage on average lasts about 18 months to 3 years, not including anyone's defensiveness or insecurities or like even neurodivergence itself, and how that has a tendency to affect the way that you interact with other people. So the first thing I'm going to say is that Garnet wasn't wrong when she literally said, it's not love at first sight. At best, it's infatuation. And even with that, it could just be the you falling in love with the idea of what that person could be, which I seem to have had an entire time just having to deal with by myself. Man, limerence be hitting differently, honestly. So we've already established love at first sight scientifically does not exist. And Garnet was immediate with just like, nope. So it had me going back to the idea of, okay, so in this case, love is a conversation. Garnet herself is a fusion of ruby and sapphire, and fusions themselves are basically the entanglement of two gems. Not only is Garnet herself in a relationship with herself and is not really looking for anyone else, she herself is a relationship between ruby and sapphire. As I said earlier, a fusion is the blending of two or more gems, physically and spiritually. And in order for the fusion itself to be stable, the gems involved have to get along or be a balanced pair of individuals. Similar to how within a relationship in and of itself, all parties involved have to be able to at least stand on their own or be comfortable with assisting others within the relationship. Clear communication, trust, empathy, these are all things that are necessary within a relationship. And the best, I want to say example, but explanation of what I'm even talking about is in season 1, episode 53, Jailbreak, where Garnet is specifically facing off Jasper. Jasper is one of the gems that absolutely despises fusioned gems because of this whole entire thing of them technically being stronger. But because of the fact that Jasper only sees the fusioning of gems just as being able to be stronger, Jasper doesn't really respect the form that Garnet is, and it's just like, oh, you're only fused together because you're stronger that way. And Garnet's like, no, we are way more than just the sum of our parts. And again, the song Stronger Than You that she's singing as she is fighting Jasper essentially says all of that, which is why I ended up starting it off with love is a conversation, Garnet as a fusion. Now, the main reason as to why this was something that I wanted to go ahead and like look into and do an entire media messages style for it is, as you're trying to learn to work on self-worth, self-love, self-care, stuff like that, you have to figure out what you would need specifically to be yourself a stable person or gem. The type of communication you're trying to look for, what you need to go ahead and accept within yourself, and how to best be honest within your relationships while not intentionally hurting the other person's feelings. Or if you're anything like me, a recovering people pleaser, recognizing that all parties have emotions. That also means you too. And I do believe that just using Garnet as a fusion as an essential like roadmap to how you handle not only yourself in these situations, but how you handle relationships romantically and platonically helps specifically for my neurodivergent brain. And I'm not sure if it would end up helping anyone else's, but yeah, no, this is where I got to. And this is the end of the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of whenever I post, and put all your questions, comments, concerns, and ideas for future videos down in the comments section below. With all that being said, my name is Toki, aka your local internet friend, and this is Toki saying Toki out.